Welcome everyone to the 2024 Site Conference Prospective Exhibitors webinar. Today we're going to give you a little bit of information about the conference. Hopefully we can convince you to exhibit at our conference this year, and if not this year, hopefully in the future. I want to do some quick introductions of our conference team. My name is Tuda Bentatu. I'm the Director of Member Experience here at Site. So my team, on my team, we oversee the conference, marketing for all of Site, and member engagement. And I'm going to turn it over to Kimber to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Kimber. I'm the event specialist here at Site, and what that means for all of you is I do all things conference. So all your questions come to me.
And Kimber really focuses on the exhibitor management. So if you were to register for the conference, you'd probably hear from her a lot and be working with her a lot, and she'd be your direct contact. A few of our members that aren't here today but work on our team are Soki Hull. She's our executive specialist. She does all of our accounts receivable and helps with billing. So if for any reason you needed to be invoiced or if you need to pay with an Amex, you can do that through Soki and she'll get you taken care of. And then two of our other members that aren't here today are Laurel Nava, our Director of Education and Partnerships, and Tai Ishimoto, our Education Program Specialist, and they handle all of the sessions for the conference. So we'll talk a little bit about sessions for exhibitors because we don't traditionally offer sessions to exhibitors, but there are some ways that you might be able to get some interaction with our conference attendees. All right, so real quick, I'm not sure how familiar any of you are with Site, but just in case, I do want to give you a little bit of background about who we are. We're a nonprofit membership organization that was established in 1960. We support technologists, so that's kind of where I think we're a little bit different from some of the other associations, both nationwide and in the state. We focus solely on technologists. We do have some ed tech folks, but it's really about supporting people in the technical roles. We rebranded to Site in 2019. We were formerly SETPA, so some of you might be familiar of who we are based on the name SETPA, and we were the California Educational Technology Professionals Association. And prior to that, we were CEDPA, the California Educational Data Processing Association. So why exhibit? You know, I think there are a lot of reasons, but I think the biggest that a lot of our exhibitors say keeps them coming back is, you know, we're dedicated solely to the IT professionals in California. So they get more of the technical contacts and also some of the decision makers. And a lot of our audience are IT directors, CTOs, so you connect with the people purchasing technology in education, not only for a single site, but sometimes at the county level and also at the district level. So you can get some bigger contracts by engaging with our attendees. I talked a little bit about the roles that are included. So I think the ones that people want to see the most are the CTOs and the IT directors, since they are the decision makers a lot of the time. But we do attract network admins, sysadmins, help desk or on-site technicians, database administrators, developers, programmers, software support, and we still have a small percentage of ed tech attendees. What's nice about having the different roles is even though the CTOs and IT directors are the decision makers, they'll still bring their staff with them who are the ones evaluating different tools or different products for when they're working on a project. So you kind of get to engage with the people that you might be working with if you were to get hired over at their district or their LEA. So you get to meet a few people from the LEA or district versus just talking to the CTO or IT director who might have to go back and take the information back. And then, you know, they do the gathering, the requirements gathering and all of that offsite. We're expecting about 1,600 site members to attend this year. Last year, we had 1,760 registered attendees with 1,701 on site, and we had 312 registered exhibitors with about 300 on site. So we're continuing to grow, which is great, but we do try to have more of a reserved estimate so that way I think we can confidently hit 1,600, but we're hoping to exceed what we hit last year. So just some quick conference information, and I'm going to turn it over to Kimber to do this.
So yeah, I'll be going over some conference logistics. And so this year, our conference will be held in San Diego, California. It's going to be from November 19th to the 21st. That's with our pre-con on November 18th. So a little more information about that is that our registration opens on Monday, the 18th from 3 to 6 p.m. That is our early, what we call our early badge pickup. We recommend if you are going to be there early to go ahead and pick up your badges that day. It'll be fast and easy to get that done. And then following that, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. is our welcome reception, and that will be held at the USS Midway this year. So our attendees are really excited. We hope you guys would be too. That's about half a mile from where we will be. So just an FYI on that. And all exhibitors and attendees are welcome to go to the welcome reception. We usually get that question. And the Expo Hall this year will be held at the San Diego Convention Center. And it's a little bit different this year. Usually we have our Expo Hall right next to our breakouts and sessions. It's different where you guys are going to be in separate buildings this year. Our breakout and session will be at the Manchester Grand Hyatt and the Expo Hall at the Convention Center. It's about a little less than half a mile away from each other, or actually less than that, like a quarter of a mile. Tudor, I can't. Oh, there you go. Next is the exhibitor schedule. And so what this looks like is Monday, starting at 8 a.m., you're able to move in from 8 to 6 p.m. all day on Monday. As I mentioned before, with registration for badge pickup starting at 3 to 6, and then of course the welcome reception from 6 to 9. On Tuesday, our registration opens at 7 a.m. So if you weren't able to get it on Monday, that's when we'll open. And then, and I want to mention also for registration, we will have registration at the exhibit hall for all exhibitors. We'll have it at both the exhibit hall and at the Grand Hyatt. But for all exhibitors, you actually just need to go to the convention center. That's where you can pick up your badges. We'll specifically be working with all you exhibitors. And then, so registration will open at 7 a.m. over there as well. And then from 8 to 12 is when you guys are welcome to continue to move in to the hall. All the aisles need to be clear by 12 p.m. on Tuesday. You can still be working within your booth. We just need the aisles clean because they need to clean it to get ready for the Expo Hall reception. And then final setup is from 12 to 5 p.m. So last minute things to your booth, stuff like that. And then our registration will close at 5 p.m. So please make sure that you get your booth passes before 5 p.m. And then 5 to 7:30 is our Expo Hall opening reception. Thank you. And on Wednesday is our main Expo Hall day. So Wednesday it starts, registration once again opens at 7 a.m. in case you have some staff coming in just for that day. And then from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have our exhibitor breakfast that will be held in the Expo Hall. So nice and easy for you guys. And then from 8:30 to 3:30, so basically all day, is our expo show. And it's usually a lot of fun. All of our attendees come and check it out. And we're ending our registration that day at 3 p.m. In case you have staff that come midway through the day, that's helpful. And then 3:30 to 7 p.m. is when you guys are allowed to move out of the expo hall. So you got a window there. Usually move out is faster than setting up, we found.
One thing, sorry, real quick, I do want to jump in that we don't necessarily publicize, but we tell our members is the expo hall is actually open to the public after lunch. So you might get people from local districts who might not have been able to attend the conference, but they might come and wander the expo hall because they're working on a project and want to get FaceTime with some of the exhibitors.
And in San Diego, we have a lot of districts, so hopefully you'll get even more contacts that way. Okay, next, booth information. So we have, as you can see, a few different types of booths. First, we have our 20 by 20. That's our large size. You can see the price right there is $13,860. And with that, you get 10 booth staff passes. So what that means is that you get to You get to bring 10 staff, and that includes the person who registers for the booth. And I will say all of our 20 by 20s are sold out at this time. A lot of our exhibitors just jumped on it this year. So we are sold out of 20 by 20s, but sometimes sometimes that can change. People can decide not to exhibit or go down to a smaller size. Next is our end cap, and that is 10,280 with 8 booth passes. And then our doubles, which are 8,450 with 6 booth passes. And then our regular size booths are 10 by 10s. We have by far the most of 10 by 10 booths. They are 4,045 booth or dollars, and that comes with 3 booth staff. And then lastly is our startup table, partner table, and that is $1,000. And you get 2 staff. The reason for that is the tables can only fit 2 staff. And then lastly on here, the additional booth staff pass. So in case you needed to bring more staff, let's say you had a 10 by 10 and you wanted to bring 5 staff with you, that's perfectly okay. Just each extra pass after that will cost, after the allowed ones, cost $150 per staff. If you notice the asterisks, our front row premium booths do have an additional fee. They are currently all sold out, but once again, in case someone changes, that can change. And then also our booth staff passes are only allow the staff to attend exhibitor events and things like that. So no attendee sessions, meals, events, etc. are they allowed to go to. And as you're thinking of what staff you'll bring, we highly recommend you bring your engineers. We say that because our attendees ask questions that really we find only the engineers have answers to. I definitely don't have those answers. So they really like it when engineers come, and we want you guys to be able to sell best to our attendees, so you guys can have a good relationship in that way. And I will say payment is due at registration. So when you go through our system, that is when payment is due. And it has to be by credit card. And I will say if you have Amex, our system for some reason doesn't take it. So just let us know if you need to pay by Amex, and that'll have to be paid over the phone. We'll have someone help you with that. And then the last thing on this I want to mention is that whoever registers for your booth will be the main contact. So if you prefer multiple people see it, I recommend maybe doing like a company email, like events at, whatever your company name is, .org. And the last thing I'll say is that having your booth register early is best, because once someone registers, they will continue to get email communications. So that's just more eyes on what is due, what is needed. That way you guys don't fall behind. Okay. Next, meals and included meals and refreshments. So exhibitors get some included meals, and that is heavy appetizers at our welcome reception. That's for everyone. Everyone is able to get those. Tuesday, the next thing is the expo hall reception, and that's also heavy appetizers. Think kind of like a light dinner. And then Wednesday is when we provide breakfast in the expo hall and box lunch. Attendees and exhibitors all get box lunches on expo hall. And so those are all the meals that we provide for exhibitors. Okay, now booth logistics. There's a lot more to this than what's even here. But we have our trade show services, which is Tricord. So if you exhibit with us, you'll be hearing from them. They're the ones who you're going to contact for ordering things, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a second. But all booths include pipe and drape. That's not applicable to kiosks or startup tables. And what some of the things that you'll have to order through Tricord are power, carpet, furniture, etc., as well as dedicated internet connectivity, and you're able to purchase that through Smart City at the convention center. And I will say that everything to order from Tricord, and including internet, is available in the exhibitor kit, which I'll explain a bit more, is available once you register. And then next is we do not allow any, or sorry, I will say the convention center does not allow any outside food or drinks. I'm sure you've experienced that at other conventions you've been to. That does not apply to small wrapped candies or items to give away in your booth. Our attendees love a wrapped item to take home or to snack on. And alcoholic beverages can only be served during the expo hall reception on Tuesday night. So if you wanted to serve alcohol, that can only be during Tuesday night. And our attendees do enjoy that. I've also seen people get, not just on Tuesday, but on Wednesday as well, a hot cocoa or other things. And if you have any questions on ideas, go ahead and feel free to reach out and I can pass some ideas of what will work well. Okay, attendee list. So we will be sending out 3 attendee lists near conference time. And all of our lists are only for only attendees who opt in to share the information. We have a lot of tech people and not everyone wants to share the information. We want to respect their desires on that. And so the first one we'll be sending out this year will be November 7th. Followed by our second on November 21st. And then our last one we will send out, we'll try to send out before December 1st. So you'll get all those 3 pretty fast. And I will say, we've had in the past scams where people try to get exhibitors to buy attendee lists. We will never sell you a list. This is part of your partnership or part of what you buy with a booth are these 3 attendee lists. And so just to clarify, you're only going to get emails from a few different companies. One from us, site staff, so anything that says site. Tricord, as I mentioned, Smart City, which is the internet, and then lastly, Cvent, who do lead retrieval.
Sorry, I just want to jump in real quick because I noticed I don't think these dates are correct because it's supposed to be 3 weeks before 1 week before and then 1 post-conference list. So I think these might have been the dates from last year. I apologize. So since it's starting on the 19th, it would be the 12th. So November 12th would be the week before. And then 2 weeks before that would, I think, be the last week of October. So you would get your list 3 weeks prior, 1 week prior, and a post-show list.
Thank you for clarifying that, Tuda. Yeah, so it's always going to be 2 weeks prior, 1 week prior, or 3 weeks prior, 2 weeks prior, and then 1 week after every year. Yeah, can you get the next page? Okay. Okay, and so once you register with us, we're going to communicate a couple different ways. First and most importantly is our exhibitor portal. This is definitely the one-stop shop where you can learn and get everything that you need for the show. And this is where we mainly communicate with you as well. For example, we're going to have tasks with links to that put in there for you to do before conference or even during it so that you stay up to date. We're also going to have some quarterly webinars and updates that we send. Similar to this, we're going to send out webinars and then also some just email updates. And I will say that we'll task links in the exhibitor portal of those updates. If for some reason you don't see it by email, we'll be sending it to you multiple ways so you have it. And then, of course, lastly, as we get closer to the conference, we will also be doing some Q&A sessions to answer any last-minute questions. Okay, lead retrieval is the system we use for you guys to scan to get leads from our attendees. And so this is provided by Cvent, and you're able to purchase or rent individual licenses for your personal device, and it'll be available for purchase in the exhibitor portal. And then additional sponsorships. So we do not have these available yet. We are expecting them to be available sometime during May. And some examples that you can look out for or think about if you want to do include meals, snack breaks, a mobile app, scavenger hunt, and more. And I will say this is a great way to get involved more within the show. For example, our attendees, when they eat, if you pay for a breakfast, your name will be on our banners and people will see that you helped provide for breakfast, which they always love. Also, the scavenger hunt is a great one. I highly recommend. A lot of our attendees play it. And if you're included in the scavenger hunt, they have to go to your booth. And that's a great way to get more leads and start relationships and conversations. So highly recommend those. And I'm going to turn it over to Tuda now.
All right. So a question we get quite a bit is, how do exhibitors submit sessions? So technically you can submit sessions, but I will say the only vendors who get a dedicated session are our corporate affiliate program sponsors. So our year-round sponsors, they get it as part of their agreement. And we try to really focus more on our community-driven content. So that's the content that our members provide. So if you have an organization or an LEA that you work with that is attending the conference, my recommendation to you is to reach out to them and say, hey, you've been really happy with our products or with our services. Would you mind presenting or co-presenting with us, and have them submit on your behalf? Because our conference committee reviews every single session, and they're the ones to pick the sessions. And they 9 times out of 10 want to hear from their colleagues versus an exhibitor. And I know that's unfortunate, and that's why we try to help you with some of these little loopholes to get a session submitted. And I will say, if you submit a session but you're not signed up to exhibit, you cannot, we won't accept your session either way, even if another attendee or even if a attendee puts that session in, we may not accept the session, because we try to really only promote those that support us and exhibit at our conference, and make sure that they're the ones who get the extra exposure if they get a session at the conference. The call for proposals is open until April 12th.
And so this is the conference exhibitor information page. And so this is the main page. And if you're ever on a different page, if you just click exhibitor FAQ, it'll go back to this page. But this has information about a lot of what we shared: why exhibit, location, and schedule. So if you need to look back, this is where the schedule is going to be. Also, all the pricing information that we mentioned, including the front row premium. And if you're interested in a startup table or information on that, this has some information, as well as a link to our interest form, which we asked that is filled out before you register. It has some of our refund policy and any FAQs down here. So hopefully easy to follow. Next is our exhibitor prospectus page. This is also really important. We recommend linking it over, because this is going to have more information that we haven't shared before, just some of those particular questions that people have. Once again, we have the schedule, what comes with a booth, and then meals that you can do, and just answering other questions that you might have down here as well. And then at the top of the page, we're going to click on, this is the exhibitor terms and conditions. When you register, this is what shows up. We've had some people ask to see it separately in case their legal needs to see it, so we provided that here for you guys. And then the last page I want to show you is our booth map page. And it's the same as the registered exhibitor page. It shows the booths, our booth map and what's available. All the blue is what currently is taken, or the teal is what's taken. And the booths in white are the booths that are currently available. And I will say, give us about 24 to 48 hours to update this, maybe a week closer to conference to update these things. We had to manually update them as people register. And then if you go down here, you can see who else has registered, in case you have a competitor you don't want to be next to, or you forgot where your booth is. You can find your booth number here. It goes all the way down, and we also have our nonprofits and startups at the bottom as well. And I believe that's most of the information I want to share in here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I see Tuda is back. Tuda,
Hi, yeah, Kimber, can you keep sharing the presentation though? I'm so sorry, I don't have it.
absolutely. No,
yeah.
absolutely. All right, and then I'm
on
going to
my
go back to the
laptop.
presentation. Excuse me while I have to slideshow.
Thank you, Kimber.
All right, and so next page.
And sorry, I'm tethered to my work phone, so I can't, it's not loading for me. Is the slide deck there?
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Our next is just, do you have any questions for us? So now I'm going to open it up, is if anyone has any questions, feel free to either unmute yourself or put a question in the chat.
Yeah. Hey, Kimber. I have a question. Craig Melisari from Second Life Mac. We're dialing into an NCAP booth, and it looks like NCAP's already fairly limited. is there a wait list? Do you recommend we check back frequently to see if a more prime location is opened up? What do you normally see there?
Yeah, so we still have some end caps available, but I understand that you might want the best location possible. And we do have a wait list. But what I recommend is registering for end cap now, your
Yep.
second best option, because you never know if people are gonna drop or not. And what I can do is also, if you let me know, I can also put you on a wait list for a specific booth or a couple if they open up.
Yep, great. I just sent you an email because we need to pay on Amex, so
Okay.
we can connect afterwards. And then my other question would be, there's a couple different locations. Where are the majority of the attendees staying? Is it at the Manchester Grand Hyatt or is it at the Hilton
So
Bayside?
our most of our attendees will be at the Manchester Grand Hyatt, and we are
Okay.
getting room blocks at a couple smaller hotels that are actually closer than the Hilton. So we do recommend the Manchester Grand Hyatt, but we also know that San Diego will be a popular location, so we're probably gonna fill up soon. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, great. Thank you.
of course. Any other questions? All right, well, you're more than welcome to ask questions, and if you need to stay behind, you can do that as well. I'm gonna go to our next slide. Trudy, this is the want to get involved outside of conference and attend vendor engagement webinar. Would you like to share a little bit more about this?
Sure. So I think I mentioned that we have a corporate affiliate program or a year-round sponsorship. And then we have a couple other ad hoc opportunities for sponsorship if you're ever interested in getting involved outside of the conference. We host monthly vendor engagement webinars. So if you're interested in that, I would highly recommend attending one of those. And Debbie, I saw that you asked if we'll be sending out the recording. Assuming it did not get messed up by my power going out, yes, we will be sending out the recording. Hopefully it all looks okay, and if it doesn't for any reason, we'll share the presentation with you, so that way at least you'll have that as a resource.
We might have two recordings, Debbie. I'm recording this one now. So hopefully we'll definitely get something new. And we also are wanting to put this on our website as well for new exhibitors to come and see. So you'll have it in multiple spaces.
Thank you.
Okay, I see someone said they don't see their booth on the floor plan and you signed up a while back. How do you verify that you have a space? If you would like to stay on after, I can work with you on that, sir. Furthermore, so we can make sure that we verify that you have that space. Oh, I apologize. What just happened? Okay, and if you have, oh, sorry about this. If you have any other questions after this webinar, we recommend that you email either your exhibit questions to exhibit@site.org, or if you have any questions about hosting a session or anything like that, please email speakers@site.org. And that is all that we have for you today. I'm going to stop sharing my recording.